Welcome to Cover Slave, the show we usually play 30k, but today we're debasing ourselves with 8th edition 40k. With me is Anubis and Claros, aka Ski Mask. They're playing a 1,000-point 8th edition 40k game. You'll notice I didn't mention power levels because I'm an adult. So Jason, you are bringing your...
Tau Empire, or Tau Empire.
Tau Empire. And you are bringing your...
I'm using Chaos Space Marines.
Pretty cool. Why don't you tell us which FOCs you guys used?
I'll go first, since that's the order that we've established. I'm going to be using the Outrider detachment, which means I have some compulsory fast attack choices, and it just seemed to work with what I wanted to take, and that's what I took. Yeah,
so I'm using the Battalion. It's pretty much the CAD and the standard 5th ed one. Have a bit more troop in HQ than they used to. You get a nice 3 command points on top of everything else.
We're playing Retrieval Mission, which I guess is the new Crusade.
Yeah.
There's 4 objectives
always
on the board. We decided to use scenic objectives just for fun because you measure from the center of objective markers now, so let's see how that goes.
And you know, we're dusting off models, so it's fun to dust off some objective markers we haven't used in a while.
Spread off some dust. Yeah. We're gonna try and play as close to 8th as we can. We usually play with like rules for terrain, so today we're not doing that. Well, at least not good rules. We're playing with their rules. So there's going to be some weirdness. For example, any one of these guys having a single model just on a ruin will somehow give that cover save to the whole unit.
That
needs a FAC. Also, for example, you'll see weird stuff like 5th ed where only one model is visible to a unit, but you can still kill the whole unit. Again, that's what's currently the rules, so we have to play it that way. We'll see. So anyway, we're back with armies and stuff, unless you guys got anything else.
So
armies and stuff.
1,000-point Chaos Space Marine army. It is a battalion detachment for the +3 command points, not VPs. It's a Nurgle faction I'm using, even though like 95% of it is Death Guard, because right now there's no incentivizing pure 100%. Anyway, so up front we have Typhus. He's my warlord. He has the legendary fighter, so +1 attack on the charge. His psychic powers...
That's the warlord trait, right?
Yeah, that's his warlord trait. And for his psychic powers, he has the miasma, so I target a unit. Enemies have -1 to hit it.
He has your asthma?
Yeah, miasma. It's non-existent. And then his second power, I don't remember the name, it's the chart. So you target an enemy unit, you roll a d3, you subtract attack, toughness, or strength from them, depending on what you roll. It's pretty cool. Pretty simple. So on both sides, we have 2 5-man squads of Plague Marines. Yes, I know they don't have melee pistol weapons anymore, but yada yada, new addition. There's the Chosen just has a bolter, or the Champion, sorry, just has bolter. There's 2 plasma guns in each squad, and that's it. In the middle here we have 20 zombies, the Poxwalkers. There's 20 of them. They don't have any options. It's the max squad. Here we have a Chaos Vindicator. It is Nurgle, it is not Death Guard, so it would not be getting buffed by him, the Demon Prince. He has 2 pairs of talons and wings. His psychic power is Warp Time. Why would you not take Warp Time? And he buffs everything within 6 inches, that is Death Guard, with rerolling 1s to hit. And finally we have 3 Death Guard Nurgle spawn. There's 3 of them. There's no upgrades for them. That's it. And there's my 1,000-point Death Guard Nurgle Chaos Space Marine Heretic Astartes faction using a battalion. 8th ed.
8th ed!
8th ed!
8th ed!
1,000 points of Tau, 8th edition, Outrider detachment, whatever else I'm missing in that, I don't know. Okay,
what set are you?
What's your power level?
Technically my sept is Sasea, but I don't think that matters.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so up front we have a Cadre Fireblade. He is equipped with the pulse rifle, even though it doesn't look like it, but that's what we're using today. You can't see I'm nodding off of camera. Okay, he has a marker light and photon grenades. He's also got the Inspiring Command, or Leadership, it's called?
It's the warlord trait, yeah.
Yeah, it's warlord trait, so he gets +1 leadership to everyone within 6. He has an ability that grants an additional shot or some such to pulse weapons within 6 as well, so that kind of meshes well with him. Behind him are 3 identical squads of strike teams. They have a chasseur with a marker light each. They all have pulse pistols because they're free, and that's awesome. There's a, I can't remember what it's called, there's DX whatever, smart missile turret thing in each squad. And I think that's everything for them. I don't think there's any other grenades.
They got the lesser grenades.
The photons.
Yeah,
yeah,
photons.
everything, yeah, all this.
because it comes stock.
Yeah. Okay, so then to the left of them is a Pathfinder squad. They have marker lights, carbines, a chassis, and they have the photon grenades as well. Nice and simple. They're very cheap, which is cool. Behind them is a squad of 5 stealth suits. They are each equipped with my most favorite thing in the game right now, which is called the Advanced Targeting System, which is questionably broken. It's quite good. So it basically increases the AP of the weapon, of all weapons on the model. So in this case, they all have -1 to their burst cannons. Very cool. Next to them on the right side is a broadside. He's also rocking that same thing because I love it so much. So he's got all the missiles. Like he has them all. I think he borrowed some from a friend too. And he even has some missile drones with him. So he just has all the missiles and he has that thing. Very cool. In the back, there are 2 identical piranhas. They are equipped with whatever they come with. It's burst cannon and carbines on the drones. I don't think they have any other things that I need to think about. But yeah, they're nice and cheap, which is awesome. Only 45 points.
Whoa.
Behind them is the Ghost Keel battlesuit, and he's equipped with the Iron Raker and my ever favorite Advanced Targeting System. I'm gonna have to think of a very cynical name for that.
It's going to kill you.
Yeah, and he's also got a multi-tracker. So if he combines his fire onto one target, he gets to re-roll to hit, or re-roll ones, or
re-roll ones.
Re-roll ones. Okay, here we go. And he's flanked by a pair of stealth drones with stealth stuff, and it makes him extra stealthy. So that's my 1,000 points of 8th edition Tau Empire Outrigger Rider detached. Yeah, let's play 8th edition. I'm done. That's it. Hello. This is my Tau deployment.
Tau.
Tau. Tau. We're gonna start right here. So there's fire warriors there. There's fire warriors there. There's fire warriors there. There's piranhas there. There's pathfinders there because there was a path there. I found it. And then there's a broadside here. He's on the side. It's kind of like the broader side of this building. He's on it. And this guy's actually dead. He's actually an objective. He's not. Yeah. These guys infiltrated up there. Infiltrated. I don't even know what it's called now.
It's called infiltrated.
It's called infiltrated.
They bespoke up there with their bespokeness.
They bespoke up there, yeah. This guy's bespoking behind this building. Sorry, hiding. It's interchangeable.
Yeah.
And he also infiltrated. He's currently looking at this digger here. He's very, very intrigued by it. That's it. That's it for me. 8th edition! Okay, done.
Nurgle Chaos Space Marine Death Guard Detachment Deployment. Alright, so right in the middle...
Did you get all the keywords?
No. I got 20 poxwalkers, zombies, whatever, they come from
near the graveyard.
Yeah, typhus just raised them all up, nice and fresh. I got some spawn up on the buildings, all that stuff. They're beasts, so they can traverse the floors, but they need actual blocking of the site for cover. We got some plague marines. Got my demon princes lurking behind them. Then over here, we've got a nice good old Vindicator and some defiled ruins with plague marines hiding inside.
Color matching.
Yeah, it's perfect. That's why I picked this side. And yeah, that's my deployment. I finished first, so we'll see some initiative steal.
Why don't you show us the objectives just for relevant?
All right, so objectives. We got one here on the bridge. Matches the bridge.
They blend in so well.
Yeah. We got one here, Wounded Guardsman. He's going to be zombified later. Got a crisis suit. He's just going to start using it as a crisis suit.
You have a minute.
And we've got them playing beat 'em up robots.
That is quite the objective marker, I gotta say.
I see he even has the controller in hand. He's going to.
And those are actual little crisis suits.
Yeah.
Hot damn.
All right. Yeah. So initiative steal.
Yeah, initiative steal.
I don't always do initiative, but when I do, it's with this dice.
No,
that's the opposite of what I wanted.
Typhus.
Death Guard turn 1, starting down over here. I moved and ran these plague marines up. I think I got a total of 8 inches. They didn't have any targets within the range, so yeah, not too much they could do. Moving down to the Vindicator, I moved it up 10. I cast Miasma on it, so -1 to being hit by Jason's stuff. And it took a pot shot over at the stealth suits. I got 2 shots. I rolled 1-5 because of the movement penalty and because they're stealthy. And then I rolled a 1 to wound. My Poxwalkers moved up and they ran total 5 inches. Typhus moved up and ran, I rolled a 6 for his run, but because he's in Cataphracti, it's half, so he went 7. And he cast the psychic power onto the Vindicator. Yeah, so the spawn, they moved their 11, they had to like hump over the wall and retain coherency. But because I moved my Demon Prince up and cast Warp Time onto them, I got to move them again, kind of get them into a slightly more better spot. I did roll double 6s on my Demon Prince for its power, and I forgot to use my command point to re-roll one of those to ensure not taking wounds for many times in a row from the last game I played too with this. Anyway, so they got to move again from Warp Time. And then finally, my last squad of Plague Marines down here, they moved up. They're 5. I was just in range with my plasma guns to shoot at his devil piranha fish. I hit both times and I wounded both times, and because of the modifiers, he only had a 6-up save and he failed both, so it has 2 wounds. And that's it for the first turn of the first round. See you on Tau turn 1.
Tau turn 1.
Tau.
Turn 1. So we're going to start over here. So these Pathfinders, they found the path. So they actually scouted. We kind of flipped that up a little bit at the beginning. So we just sort of added that post my turn or pre my turn. So we moved them a little bit. So they used their marker lights on the spawn that were here.
Who are no longer there?
Who are no longer there as a result of this firing at it. So it was kind of cool, like Cleary was saying earlier. It was cool to actually see some volley fire from the rifles. I actually got to use those, and the Fireblade actually pumped out a lot of extra shots out of those guys.
And you deployed your guns.
That's right, and it plopped down the SMS turrets. Broadside back here, flubbed with all of his big missiles. Smaller missiles killed like 2 or 3 or something like that.
Poxwalkers? Or?
Poxwalkers, yeah. I was firing on them. Stealth suits were sort of an insurance for the spawn, so they actually didn't have anything to do. The drones and the piranhas kind of spread out to kind of block the spawn as well, if they were still alive, and proceeded to mop them up. Over here...
Which was First Blood.
Yes, which was First Blood. Last thing I'll mention, so Mr. Ghostkeel jumped up on here, and he did 2 wounds to this guy. There was too many flies. Flies beat technology, so...
Magic flies.
Magic flies. Magic flies. 8th edition! That's my turn.
Death Nurgle Chaos Marine turn 2. Starting over here. I moved my Plague Marines up 5 inches. They rapid fired at the ghost peel. They overcharged their plasma guns too. I got 3 hits and like a 1, and my guy would have died, but I used a command point to re-roll that, so he didn't die. He still rolled a 2 though. They managed to strip 4 wounds off of it, so that's pretty cool. I shot at it with my stationary Vindicator off its tread, because that makes sense.
Because that's...
I got...
we'll talk about that later.
I got 3 hits from his D3, so I was like feeling good. One of those only hit though, and then I rolled a 1 to wound, so that was less good. Moving on down, zombies moved up and ran with Typhus. And this is kind of where my luck started getting less good. These 5 Plague Marines also shot at the Piranha, and I got total, no ones, no one died there from the overcharged plasma. Got 3 hits. 3 of them failed to wound, so... one of them wounded, sorry. 2 out of the 3 failed to wound, so only 2 more wounds on that. So it's just kind of drifting around, and I moved and warp timed my Demon Prince up to charge his Fire Warriors, but because he had positioned everything within 6 inches of each other, literally his entire army got to shoot at it, and I took like another 3 wounds in total, and...
That's QQ more PQ?
Then he also passed his morale test from his bonding knife on a roll of a 6. So that was the total of my turn 2. See you at the end of Tau turn 2.
Tau turn 2. Right here. This is where we're going to start. This unit of Pathfinders, they're chilling on this building. They fired their carbines and their marker lights, even though I have the ability to split fire in this new edition. I chose to fire everything at him, because everything here fired. The unit that was in combat with that demonic prince has moved down here. They have left combat. Something that is a new option in this edition. These Fire Warriors back here, they just sat and they fired a lot with their warrior guns. They also fired their smart missiles at this demonic prince. All of that combined accumulated to like, what was it, like 8 wounds? 9 wounds? How many does he have? 10?
He's got 1 left.
He's got 1 left.
Yeah, 8, he has 7 on him.
I did a jillion wounds, he's got 1 left. That's what matters. Okay, over here, this guy, I might have forgot to fire him. This unit of missile drones fired into, actually, I killed one of these guys. I have to shoot the nearest target. So I fired here. This unit back here, the stealth suits, they sort of moved back and continued to open fire on the Demon Prince. I believe they did 1 or 2 wounds. So all of that is done. This unit here, the Piranha, he moved forward to try and block the zombies off a little bit, I guess. His buddy over here moved back and he fired into the zombies as well. Actually, no, he fired at the Demon Prince. Everything shot at that Demon Prince. Yeah, that's about it for over here. Over here, this, the Ghost Keel, he sort of moved off the building over here, uses nice 12-inch movement. He fired at the zombies here and thinned them out. I killed like 4. Pretty cool. Yeah, I believe that's it. Yeah, that's the end of Tau turn 2. We'll see you at the end of Nurgle turn 3.
Nurgle turn 3. Starting down over this side with these Plague Marines. They moved up. They're 5 inches. I decided to split fire the bolters into the stealth drones and the plasma guns into the stealth big suit. The bolters mowed down the drones. It was a really nice result. The plasma didn't do anything. I just failed to hit. The Vindicator then shot at it, and I got 3 shots again. I hit every time, and I rolled 3 1s for the Eyes of Nurgle. I got a command point reroll onto one of those failed hits, and I did manage to hit it at that point. But he passed his 5-up cover save, or his armor save that was influenced by the cover, to not take a bunch of damage. With my zombies and typhus, the zombies and typhus both moved up 4. Typhus cast the gift of the -1 to be hit onto the Demon Prince, and together Typhus and the zombies assaulted the Piranha and cut it down. The Demon Prince, from his perch, he moved 12 to about here, and then cast Warp Time to jump over to the other side to avoid some focus fire from Fire Warriors.
Startling broadside.
And charged in. Jason passed a couple of armor saves, left with 1 stealth suit, and he passed his battle shock because they're pretty solid with a battle shock of or leadership 8, so that's good. And then finally over here with these Plague Marines, I moved up their 5, split fire again from the plasma into the Piranha, and then the bolters into the drones, and the plasma managed to kill off the Piranha, and the drones have survived the onslaught. So that's Nurgle turn 3, and see you guys at the end of Tau turn 3.
Tau turn 3. We're going to start off with the folks who left combat today. So this guy here, he was in combat with the Demon Prince. We'll get to that later. There was 2 drones here. They were in combat with this unit. They moved out of combat, because that's a thing you can do. This unit here, the Pathfinders, they sat still. They used their marker lights and lit up the zombies and the Plague Marines. They got like 1 hit, 2 hits there, or 3 I think there. I believe I forgot to fire the carbines, but what can you do? And then this unit, they just moved up here. They had a couple shots, but didn't really get any hits. These guys back here fired into this unit, killing like maybe half a dozen, maybe 6 or 7. These guys as well fired into there, thinning out again. I think in total between them was probably 7. Broadside over here fired using the marker lights and brought them down to the 3 guys plus typhus there. And finally, whoop, over here, the Ghost Keel fired. I think he fired at the Tankus. Oh yeah, it was the Demon Prince. Yeah, he's the one who got the Demon Prince. Yeah, he just blasticated him with the gun. That's right. And then these guys fired at the Tankus, but they didn't do anything. They're missile drones. What can you expect? Yeah, so it's kind of grinded down. That's the end of Tau turn 3. We'll see you at the end of Nurgle turn 3. 4.
Nurgle Guard turn 4. Starting over here. So my 5-man squad advanced up, and by advanced I just mean move normally, no actual advancing. They rapid fired and overcharged at his ghost suit keel. One of my plasma guns overheated and rolled a 1, so the guy died. I did do a wound with the overcharged shot, but he passed his 6 cover save, or not cover, his armor save because it's -3. I shot the Vindicator at him with two shots. Hit once, wounded once, he passed his 5 up. Typhus moved back and ran 1 inch. And then he cast Smite, and the Ghost Heal is within 18 and the only visible thing, because otherwise I would have to hit the drones. And I got 1 wound onto that from Typhus, but I had to burn a command point to get that. Then finally over here, I shot at the drones with bolters and split-fired plasma guns into the Pathfinders, and I managed to kill one, and kill one drone from the bolter fire, and then I charged the drones and mopped them up in combat and consolidated my 3 inches towards the closest enemy unit, which is that one, and kind of tried to get out of the impending waves of pulse rifling. And other than that, that's Neville turn 4. See you at the end of Tau turn 4.
Here we are at the end of Tau turn 4. We'll start over here as we have ever so in the past. These guys moved down from their perch, fired here with all their guns and their marker lights. They scored a hit with their marker lights, and I believe they killed 1 with their pulse rifles. This guy up here, who's just sort of perched there precariously, tossed a photon grenade down there to affect actually that unit. Now they are blinded effectively, or -1 to hit. He fired as well, didn't do anything. This smart missile system here blinked another one away. I believe this one did as well. This broadside fired with his smart missiles here, blinked another one off, so I think, yeah, so that was 3 total. And then his high yields he fired over here, didn't do anything, cleared past his saves. Over here, there's a stealth suit who jumped up onto this truck, let loose with his burst cannon and his marker light.
That was actually impassable, huh?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess he's here.
There you go.
There you go. So, he fired in there. I don't think I did clear past, so I saved on that one. Up here, the drones from the broadside, the missile drones, fired into here. Negligible effect. I tried to use a command point to get a re-roll, but it wasn't enough. Very lastly, but not leastly, we have the Ghost Keel. He scooted over. He's a little bit slower now because he's hurting, using that new Monsters Creature mechanic. And he fired with his guns here. Unfortunately, because he's so hurt and he's moving, he was hitting on 6s and stuff. Wasn't a very good time. I think I did like 1 hit, 1 wound. But Cleary passes saved. That's the end of my turn. We'll see you at the end of Cleary's turn 5.
Typhus turn 5, it's just his faction now. Like, that's what I've decided. Starting down here. My small man squad moved up. They unloaded again into the Ghost Keel. I believe I did a total of 3 bolter wounds and 1 plasma. He failed the plasma on 1 of the 3 bolters, so I put another 3 wounds onto it, which is pretty cool for me. The Vindicator, Mr. Junior over there, he pivoted so to try and get within 3 of the objective. And he blasted up at the Indiana drones and killed 1, and Jason passes Battle Schlock. Actually, it's just called Leadership, I think. I don't even know. The 2 game systems are very similar now. Over here, Typhus moved up 4. He cast Miasma on himself and smote the last stealth suit with the full 3 wounds with mind bullets, laser beams. And finally over here, the 2 Plague Marines, they shot into the Pathfinders, they killed 2, and they charged up the building. And even though they did do 2 wounds, Jason passed them both, and then I failed the 1 save, or one of the 2 saves I had to make, because he got quite a good roll, and yeah, they're just duking it out there. And that's it for Chaos turn 5, and see you at the end of Tau turn 5, and possibly the game.
Tau turn 5! I'm going to start over here, because that's where we've been starting. Pathfinders, they actually moved out of their hidey hole. They fired at the Marine that was engaged with this unit that moved away. This unit used its advance ability, or whatever, everyone's got an advanced ability. It advanced up here. They ditched their turret that was back here, so as per its rules, it's gone. So they're chilling up there. They could not fire because they advanced. They could not fire because they pulled back, or retreated, or fell back, whatever you want to call it. This unit over here fired its smart missiles and pulse rifles at this guy here. I think that's what finally killed him. Or it was the smart missiles, whichever. So...
Cadre Fireblade.
The Cadre Fireblade fired his single shot at Typhus, but he missed. Even with his incredible ballistic skill and skill in general. This broadside here fired his smart missiles over here, and his high yield pods over here, killing one gentleman, I believe. Or no, that was from the Ghost Keel. The missiles from the broadside actually didn't do anything. This Ghost Keel killed one guy. Pretty cool. 8th edition! That was the end of Tau turn 5. We'll see you at the end of Cleary's Nurgle turn 5. 6. Turn 6. Because we rolled random game length, and I rolled a 5.
Nurgle, turn 6. Starting down over here. Plague Marines moved up 5 to take out the limping Ghost Keel. Rapid fire the 2 bolters. They didn't do anything. I overcharged the plasma gun. Both hit on double 6s to he's reviving his squad with it instead of dying. Both wounded. Jason failed both of his saves, so it cut him down. The Vindicator, it didn't move, but I did, just make sure it's claiming that objective, which it is, so that's good for me. Typhus moved to be kind of still in range, but hopefully out of 15 inches. He cast the buff on himself, so he gets harder to hit, and he smote down the last drone that was hovering around too. So that's pretty useful for me. All my turn, see at the end of Tau turn 6.
Tau turn 6. We'll throw over here. So these guys moved up. They shot over here with their marker lights, didn't really get anything because they moved and hitting on 6s, etc. These guys here, same thing. Basically everything here fired.
At Typhus?
At Typhus. So these guys didn't do anything. This got 1 marker light hit. These guys didn't do anything, but I think he got a 1 marker light hit. So there was 2 there. Smart missiles did, I believe, 2 wounds. Lucky. Broadside fired. All of its everything there. Using the marker lights, no effect. You passed all the saves. That's it for Tau turn 6. We rolled 6 for random game length, so we'll see you at the end of the next turn. 7, maybe? 8th edition!
This is the end of my turn 7. Very simple turn. My Vindicator stayed put under the bridge. I moved and tried to advance up. My Plague Marines rolled a 1, so they're coming in hot, I guess. Typhus shuffled some more to try and deny that broadside line of sight, because as we all keep on forgetting, you drop line of sight to any points on the models now from any points of the model, so you got kind of a wallop in last turn. So right now at the end of my turn, I currently have 6 victory points. 1, 2, each worth 3. So that's what I'm at right now. See, at the end of turn 7 for Tau and the end of the game.
Tau turn 7 and the end of the game. So here's what happened. Everything shot at Typhus, and he didn't die. There's Typhus.
There's everything.
There's everything. It shot him. There's him. Here's him not dying.
The score was?
The score was 3 plus 1 for first blood, so 4 for me, and 6 for Cleary. I don't think he got line breaker.
Objective there.
Does he get line breaker?
No.
Okay.
There.
So 6 to 4. The Tau Empire just couldn't do it. Not enough smart missiles in the world for Typhus, man. So yeah, that's the end of this. We'll see you at the post game show.
Welcome to the post game show. With you as always, Crabbleworth as a sentence. Jason, Cleary.
Hello, hello.
8th edition.
We just played it. Yeah, we did.
Yep, it's 1 a.m. We started at
Is it 1?
7.
Well, got back.
No, we started 7.
Start at 9.
We started playing a turn though.
Yeah, we did the first turn. Then we paused for an hour. Or 2.
Not an hour. MVP. Cleary.
Typhus.
Okay. Okay.
Fireblade.
Epic fail, Cleary.
Spawn.
Epic fail, Jaden.
Maybe the ghost kill.
2 minutes left, your thoughts on the game, Jason.
There's a lot I didn't like, but there was a lot I did like that I was pleasantly surprised with. The kind of ease of which some things kind of flow, like advancing and moving away from combat. I'm a child player. My opinion of that is vastly biased. So, I mean, it works fine for me, but you know. What else can I say? The way line of sight it works currently, straight out of the book, is bad. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
And like we're not even.
It's pretty bad.
Closing on to vehicle weapon arts. We're talking about like ornamentations, like bannering.
I took a bunch of shots from antennas today.
At sides.
At like elbows and corners and
sides.
Yeah. So. Yeah, those are my thoughts for now.
Cleary, 2 minutes left, thoughts on the game.
But it was a pretty fun game. Definitely, I always forget to use command points to reroll double sixes on perils, which is the only perils I've gotten. I do think possibly 4x4 for 1,000 points, like it recommends. Just
might have gone faster.
Might have gone faster. Also, like there was really a lot of space that just didn't have anything in it.
There wasn't enough cover.
No, just like models using the
less
space, like corners of the table.
Yeah,
right?
in fairness, we should have done 4x4. That's
Yeah.
what the book told us, so that was kind of on us.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I can understand why for 1,000 it would perhaps be a bit better. Fireblade really cool and good. Makes like Fire Warriors worth taking, right? Because before you're like, fucking, I'll just take crew. Fire Warriors suck. Like.
Well, they used to cost as much as a squad of Fire Warriors, so...
the new marker light thing's interesting. I'd call it more balanced.
Yeah. It's kind of harder to get to ignore cover and stuff. Not that
it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
I guess it's more balanced with the fact that it stays there and can be used by as many as possible. Given the split fire mechanics could be very good.
What I found kind of difficult to wrap my head around was the use of 3 marker light hits, which is moving and firing heavy weapons. You have to move your unit and hope you get enough hits to get that effect. So you can't really be like, well, I have this effect, I will use it. You know, so like...
Yeah, that's
different.
It's
definitely
a gamble
but
on
it's,
that one.
It's different.
Yeah, you definitely did feel some of the effects of like heavy weapons and moving on your larger suits.
Yeah. And not being able to move after firing them. That's like a huge...
Oh yeah, that definitely should...
Like, not that it's unfair or anything, I'm just saying
just getting
a shock,
used
just like a culture shock. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a very different movement system to...
Yeah.
No. Okay, so that's someone's thoughts on that game. 2 minutes or less, Jay, your thoughts on 8th edition so far?
Well...
Based on this game.
Based on what I saw from this game, you know, like I said, line of sight problems, that needs to be addressed. The way cover works in general, I find...
For ruins, it's... See, the joke is for ruins, Jason. The one model in, like, it's missing a word for the ruins that every other area-based thing, and even the, like, under the basic rules, just terrain works in general.
Yeah.
So there's like speculation if they just omitted the word by accident or on purpose, and if it was on purpose, I'd say that's just house rule to be like the rest of it.
I would agree with that.
If we're doing area, not just line of sight, kind of how we always used to, yeah.
Yeah. I think I was honestly surprised. I don't want to say I like it yet, but...
How did you like the scaling, the climbing up the wall kind of method? Well, you didn't really use it much because you have a lot of flying shit, right?
The thing, it's kind of annoying to not... You're like, well, okay, I'm not really safe anywhere, but it's fine. And it's simple. One thing I do like, honestly, is the loss of random movement. I didn't like...
Nothing wrong with that.
Right? Because... You get situations where you're like, well, I can't fit there, so I move up to it. Instead of being like, well, I'm here, like you're floating somewhere, or like you're, oh, I rolled low, so now I have to precariously balance everybody. No, it was just like you move, you move, you move. So that was simple and good.
The running and
I wouldn't mind a half move, like something that halves your movement or something, but whatever.
It's a really big problem that they're going to be having, where infantry magically melt through things and everything else has to follow the rules.
That is a big problem.
I find it kind of a sick irony in it. I'm kind of smiling inside because the distinctions don't make any sense, but they exist. Just the same way, I'm always someone who really liked the idea of like bikes and vehicles not being able to hang shock or climb in ruins, and that's sort of a thing now, so that's good. Weirdly enough, though, there's no rules for physicality of assault. So, for example, if Cleary or Jay could fill this whole top of this ruin, no one can assault them. Period. End of discussion. It doesn't happen. Also because the 1 inch is from base, not model. So even if you had a giant fucking model who could get his hand like on your fucking skull, it wouldn't matter.
The opposite end of that is if you're on the other side of this wall, for example, you're like you're hunkering down, but you're hugging the wall, and you don't need line of sight to charge things anymore, and you just get enough to get within an inch of that wall, or the inside edge of that model, you are now locked in combat with that unit.
Sorry, you mean if that was on the ground? Like
Yes,
that was just
yes.
Okay.
If you were on the
ground.
ground. Yeah, sorry, it's the closest.
Yeah. What's really dumb, in my opinion, is going back to 5th, for example. Let's say I had 9 out of 10 models completely out of LOS, but 1 model can be seen. If I had enough firepower, I could kill that whole unit by only seeing 1 model, and unfortunately that's back in this edition. Kind of stupid, because although we went to a really good length of making sure we don't have a lot of keyholes, like we blocked off windows and stuff, again, just being able to see 1 model out of a unit of 50, you can now kill as many shots as you have. So that's kind of stupid. It's doubly stupid because, again, there used to be in 7th a limitation of who could get wounded based on the max range of the weapons. So let's say you check your seer range anyway, you see, oh look, 3 of the enemy models are completely out of range no matter what. They're just out of the wound pool. They just can't be hurt. In this, it doesn't matter. You can pull wounds from anywhere as well. It's not nearest the closest, so you can do some really weird, I guess, wounding with large units. Also, the downside of the new way the wounding system is you're pretty much guaranteeing your good stuff is going to stick around to the end. Sergeants, heavy weapons.
4th ed.
That's good and bad, but I just, in a game where things are still physically where they are, like we are using line of sight, it's a bridge too far, in my opinion. I really think fire arcs being taken away from vehicles, especially now they can split fire, is really stupid. Like with the Vindicator not having to even get the gun on target. I love that. Shooting from your track.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not really great.
It's alright, the system is so good they've removed guns off of units' data sheets that wouldn't make any sense. Like the Dakajet, if you guys remember, it's the fighter plane of the Orc that has kind of the World War II like rear gunner, anti-air like point defense. Yeah, that doesn't actually do anything anymore, that big shooter back there. It doesn't exist as far as your rules are concerned.
And the joke is now you can still draw LOS from everywhere, so it would have worked if they had just fucking
Well, no, they're like, oh, maybe that's a bit fucking retarded. And they're like, yeah, don't put that on. Thanks,
that's the other thing, eh? We can talk what we say about ground vehicles, but planes having no fire arcs is just incredibly pointless. Like, they kept, for some reason, the 90-degree angle turn. I don't, for the love of me, know why. Yeah. Because realistically, like...
Why even compel them to move forward?
I mean, yeah, it's like, great, I'll fly in a square, or if you didn't make me do that, I would just fly in a fucking circle. It really...
If you want to go full retard with this and do like the whole, like, well, it's like StarCraft now, just make it just hover there, and then you can just move it like any other unit. Just make it a skimmer that's harder to hit.
Yeah, but this drawing LOS from the hull is dumb because... It used to be each plane was interesting. They had their quirks. Like, oh, this guy has a turret, he can, shoot behind him. That's all out the window, so, along with ground vehicles. I would have preferred if they just, I don't know, like, introduced arcs for walkers and MCs, but, hey, you do.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's gonna have to be some patching, especially with the way ruins work, and woods. Woods right now, unless you have the entirety of a squad inside the woods, no one gets
That's
covered.
how it works for all the other area terrain.
Okay, I'm just saying, but there was directionality in the game before Cleary, so there's none anymore.
Well,
it's really weird. Well, in 7th edition, so you pulled from the closest, did you not?
Oh yeah,
that's all I'm talking about. That's all I'm talking about. Anyway, that's gone. So if I have 50 guardsmen and 49 of them are in cover, none of them are. The inverse is true though for ruins. Just having a single model on the ruin in a unit, the rest get cover, and they kept the 6-inch coherency for verticality. So there's going to be a lot of daisy chaining nonsense, and that's so beyond stupid with big units, in my opinion. Like just seeing a giant tentacle coming out from the building. So I don't know. It's just, you know, it's kind of stupid. Anyway, that's my thought on it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
I would agree with a lot of things you said. I think daisy chaining out of a building is kind of silly. If you're going to defend a building, most of all the units should be inside. Anybody who's outside should be penalized for not being inside the building. This kind of makes sense to me. What else can I say that you haven't said already? It's the wounding being different is kind of something I have to wrap my head around. But
yeah, the toughness.
It's a little weird.
Like what, 5 to 7?
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's my thoughts on the subject for now. I'm sure I'll have more to say in the future.
Last words, Cleary?
Alright. I think the character targeting, like they have to be the closest model. I think that should be waived if the closest units are locked in combat.
That's that's a bit.
Because you can literally, for example, if someone fucks up with a rhino, and you surround them, they can't escape. That combat's never going to go anywhere, right? So you literally just have a blob that will always be closer, for example, through characters' back-yadaways. Because it came up in my last game, my first game, actually, Hive Guard wanted to shoot. I'm like, man, like, it just says closest visible. It doesn't say viable.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, fuck, like, I guess they're not shooting.
You also noticed the thing with assault.
Yeah, with the
language is not
line of sight to charge.
Oh, that's one thing.
Oh,
you have the moving in.
Yeah, so assault, past editions, I think for all of them that I've played, or at least knew the rules well enough, you had to move closest to closest. You had to, like, pile in, like, pretty specifically.
So over time you'd start a big unit.
Yeah. And now your first model has to get to within an inch of the enemy model. And that's when your charge succeeds. But, like, it's not the closest direct line, it's just within an inch. So you can go kind of past and hook around, you can do a whole lot of weird maneuvers, and then everyone else just has to keep coherency after that. You can really do some screwy stuff with your assault moves, and then with
at the end there's the main, right?
And then there's for the pile in and consolidate. You don't have to. You can literally just stay still and not pile in. You can remove distance between yourself with some like intelligent wound pulling as well. But if you do have to end your move closer to the enemy than you started. But that can be like a millimeter's worth towards them and then 3 inches in a different direction to get you more distance somewhere else. So definitely some very bespoke rules for moving the assault phase.
I'm not liking the bespoke rules myself.
How about the abstract ones?
Well, just as an example, like you had something akin to Scout, it was called Vanguard, I think.
Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that.
It's more just like if I'm, let's say I go on and now that I've gone through the Tau with him and I want to look at other things, like I don't like how everything's different even if it's the same for some stuff. Like the wording might be slightly different or could be identically the same, still named differently. I don't think that helps much. They've done weird stuff too, like with super heavies. They've done it in the bespoke where they can still shoot out of combat, but it's right in there. It's not like a concept, but I actually really hate how Tank Shock's gone. I don't like the idea of a grot.
Gods of war, may your hammer be mighty.